the Real Estate Investor Radio Show. Over the next hour, we unfold your map to financial freedom. You'll learn how to retire through investing in single-family and multifamily real estate. You'll learn how to create cash flow and build wealth so you can have the time and money to live the lifestyle you want.
Welcome to the show. My name is Al Gordon, and as always, I'm working on your financial freedom. And on today's show, I'll tell you what, I have to take a step back. I have to lean back in my chair. Here I go, leaning back in my chair. You can tell I'm leaning back in my chair because my voice gets kind of distant from the microphone. Yeah, let me do that again. I'm going to lean back in my chair. Oh, I feel so good. Oh, now why am I getting on the radio and leaning back in my chair? Because this is like the first breath that I've had since I was on the radio with you guys last week. You're not aware of what's been going on in my life, are you? All right, let me get you caught up to speed because there's a lot of things that have been going on in my life with regards to real estate investing, and I'm going to share them all with you. I'm going to share with you everything that I've been doing since the last time I talked to you on the radio. And I tell you, it has a lot to do with Lifestyles Unlimited. It really has everything to do with Lifestyles Unlimited because everything that Tina and I have done since I was on the radio last time you heard me has been focused on our real estate investing business. Now, how do we do that? How do we execute our real estate investing business? Well, one of the key things that we do is something called ongoing education, or you might call it continuing education. What is that? Ongoing or continuing education? Well, this is an opportunity where Tina and I, we show up at a Lifestyles Unlimited event and we educate ourselves. It's as simple as that. Yeah. Okay. Now, granted, we just don't show up and plug our fingers into the wall or something like that, and we get a download of information. What happens is we show up to an event, and the event is well orchestrated. The event is put together as a educational venue. And it's an opportunity for us to learn information about what our fellow Lifestyles Unlimited members have been doing for real estate investing. What I'm describing to you right now is something called the Lifestyles Unlimited case study. Case study. Now, you've heard me talk about case study before on this show, and I'm going to talk about case study tonight because at the end of the day, case study is one of these events that we throw at Lifestyles Unlimited that is designed to educate you, entertain you, and inform you. It's pretty cool that it does all three of those things, right? I like the entertainment part because at the end of the day, I enjoy having fun. And when I can go to a case study event and that case study event is actually entertaining as well as informational and educational, I tune in. I really do. I tune in. So what happened at this case study event that I attended last week? Well, a guy by the name of, we'll just call him Dave. His real name is David Fisher. So Dave was hosting the case study. And Dave is a guy who's actually a really funny guy. I mean, there's no other way to describe this guy. This guy he's got humor oozing from every bone in his body. The guy is just like a walking laugh factory. He should have gone into comedy. If he had not decided to become a real estate investor and one of our life changers at Lifestyles Unlimited, he should have gone into comedy because what he does is he just keeps you in stitches the entire time. He's educating you. So what's going on at this case study event? I mean, I'm talking about Dave, but there's other stuff going on, right? All right. So we have 3 of our members come up on the stage, not all at the same time. They come up at different times. So we had one member come up and they talked about a single family investment. So we learned about a particular single family asset that had just been acquired by a Lifestyles Unlimited member, what they did to acquire the asset, what they did to rehab the asset, what they did to put that asset back into service, and more importantly, they opened up the books and they shared with us information on what that asset did, what that asset did for them as far as rates of return. It was pretty informative. Now, I'm not going to hit you with the rates of return right now because I've got more information I want to share with you about this case study. But at the end of the day, we learned a lot about one particular single family asset. And I will tell you, there were people in that room that really understood the process of buying and renovating single family assets better because of that presentation they sat through. After that couple finished, another couple got up. You know what they talked about? Single family. They did the exact same thing as the first couple did. They went one over the world on an investment that they recently made. They talked about how they found the asset. They talked about how they acquired the asset. They talked about how they renovated the asset. They talked about how they put that asset back into service. They talked about how they found a great resident to live in that asset. And more importantly, they opened their books and they shared information with us about how that asset's performing. Pretty cool stuff, right? And I guarantee you, the people that learned something from the first couple learned even more from the second couple, because now they've got a second example of a real estate asset success story. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. All right, so the single family, it's all done. It was amazing. It was a great event. One of the other things that happens at Case Study, besides the education, is all the networking. Yeah, it is a huge networking event. So you've got education going on inside of the seminar room. You've got networking going on outside of the seminar room in basically the big lobby way. And you know, it's really a neat opportunity to get to know your fellow Lifestyles Unlimited members. It really is. It's a wonderful opportunity, and we offer it at least once per month. So as a Lifestyles Unlimited member, if you're not taking advantage of the case studies, you really need to take advantage of the case studies because they are wonderful. They're an amazing learning complement to the education that you signed up for. Does that make sense? All right, let me get back to the journey of last week, because it wasn't just case study. I also attended something called an owners meeting. What's an owners meeting? It's when owners of multifamily apartment communities and aspiring owners, I'm technically an aspiring owner of one. That's one of the things that I'm doing. We get together and we have a meeting prior to the case study event, and we talk about all things real estate. We talk about the political realm of what's going on. We talk about the operational arm of what's going on. We talk about current events that might be affecting the multifamily community. We share information. We talk about insurance. We talk about taxes. We talk about different ways to basically, I guess I'm just talking about software right now. We talk about software programs that manage and to help you manage and operate your multifamily apartment communities. Yeah, we share information like that too. I mean, we share information about different vendors. We share information about what we're up to. We talk about what the country is going towards. I mean, we even talk about the election. What happens if one party wins? What happens if one party doesn't win? We talk about the future events. And what's really neat about this owners meeting is it's a mastermind event. Yes, you heard me correctly. It's a mastermind event. You have all these brilliant minds coming together to talk about current events and future events. We also talk about historical stuff, you know, like, how did it go in eviction court for you this week? Now, we don't really talk about that too much because at the end of the day, when you become a Lifestyles Unlimited member, you learn how to market to people that you don't have to take to eviction court. It's kind of an interesting thing. It doesn't mean we prevent you from ever going there, but your odds of going to eviction court are much lower as a Lifestyles Unlimited member than if you do this on your own. I'm just saying. So we sat in the owners meeting. I would say collectively there was probably about 60 or 70 different owners in that particular meeting. It was kind of one of the lighter attended meetings. I'll be honest with you. I've been in that meeting where there's like a couple hundred people. I guess it just depends on what everybody's up to and what their day's like, and if they can break away to get to the Lifestyles Unlimited office in San Antonio, because that's where we held the meeting. But at the end of the day, it was a great exchange of information. It was a great exchange of ideas. It was a great event. It was a great event. It only lasted an hour and a half. It was only an hour and a half long, but we packed a bunch of stuff into that hour and a half. So what else did I do? Besides the owners meeting, besides case study? What did I do that was Lifestyles Unlimited related since the last time I've been on the radio with you? I went to the 2-day And you're saying, that's great. You went to the 2-day. What's the 2-day, Al? Okay, let's tell you what the 2-day is. The 2-day is officially called the Financial Freedom Seminar. Yeah, Financial Freedom Seminar. It's easier to say 2-day. That's why we say 2-day. Now, why do we say 2-day? Because the course is conducted in 2 days. Yeah, it's a weekend course. Now, we also offer the course midweek. Over 2 weeks in the evenings, so that people that don't have their weekends available to them have a learning opportunity that they can take advantage of. But at the end of the day, the 2-day is designed to teach our members everything that they don't know about real estate, or to correct the record. Correcting the record is very important, because that was something that had to happen in me. See, I had owned single-family assets prior to becoming a Lifestyles Unlimited member. And I went to the 2-day when I became a member, and I learned about all the things that I did wrong. Every single thing that I did wrong. But you know what was good about that? I was able to go to work the next day correcting all the things that I had done wrong. I had actually taken 3 assets that were producing a negative cash flow of about $1,000 a month, and then turned it into 3 assets that produced $1,000 of positive cash flow a month. That's a $2,000 swing in my household budget. It's pretty amazing. I learned that at the 2-day. I learned what I needed to do to affect that at the 2-day. Now, here's the other interesting thing. I got to meet a lot of people. I got to meet a lot of brand new Lifestyles Unlimited members. I got to meet a guy. Now get this. You're going to love this. I met a guy who is a military retiree. And very similar to me, he was out there doing whatever he does in retirement. And he was realizing that, you know what? Even though he has a pension, he's still working. He is still actually working. So he wanted to come to Lifestyles Unlimited to solve that problem. He wanted to learn how to stop working. So you know what I did? I did an info dump on this guy, because this guy was like me, except he had a ponytail. At the end of the day, I filled him with information that he needed to hear about his future. And this is the type of stuff that happens at a Lifestyles Unlimited event. More after this.
Lifestyles Unlimited's Real Estate Investor Radio Show returns in a moment. Got questions? Go to lifestylesunlimited.com.
The world is full of doomsayers and naysayers. That won't move the needle of your life forward. It's time to take action and become part of something bigger. Learn a new roadmap. The roadmap to retirement through real estate investing. Learn from the best. Lifestyles Unlimited, and make new friends.
So actually, the lifestyle people became our closest friends, really, because they knew we weren't crazy. And now all those other people who thought we were crazy see us and they're like, what did you do again?
Leave the lack mentality and join the group with an abundance mentality. Lifestyles Unlimited.
The whole Lifestyles Unlimited team is just wonderful, and all the people in it is basically copying what I do so you could be successful.
Join Lifestyles Unlimited today for $297. That's 60% off the regular price of the Lifestyles Unlimited Financial Freedom Program. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
Creating the lifestyle you've always wanted. You're hearing Lifestyles Unlimited's Real Estate Investor Radio Show.
Welcome back to the second half of the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show. My name is Al Gordon, and as always, I am working on your financial freedom. And I'm doing so by giving you an info dump on what I've been up to since the last time I was on radio. I've been busy. I've gone to the Lifestyles Unlimited hosted owners meeting. I sat down with about 60 different owners, and we had about an hour and a half meeting. We talked about a lot of very interesting subjects. It was an excellent meeting. It was educational. It was informative. And believe it or not, it was entertaining. Yeah, it was actually entertaining. In addition to the owners meeting, I attended the case study event. The case study event happened on a Thursday evening, and it was wonderful. We learned a lot about single family. We learned a lot about multifamily. We got the opportunity to meet some of our newer members. And then once case study was over, we went out as a group. And we went and we had drinks and dinner and, whatever you do as a group, right? So what happens after case study is we go to this venue. All right. I won't tell you where the venue is. It's in San Antonio, Texas. It's big enough to hold a group of like 100 or more people. Let's just put it that way. All right. And trust me, Texas has got a lot of places that can do that. So we go to this particular place and we get our drinks, we get our meals, and then we network. You heard me correctly. We network. We talk to each other. We introduce ourselves to each other. We get to know each other. As a matter of fact, a gentleman that I personally met about 3 years ago, and this gentleman ultimately became my plumber. He's a master plumber. He is trained as a master plumber. He's certified, all that stuff. I mean, he's got the credentials, right? And he started his own business. So one of the things that I introduced him to was something that we call the Lifestyles Unlimited Vendor Marketplace. It's an opportunity for people of the trades, the white collar, the blue collar, whatever you do that might be real estate related, that you want to work with people that buy real estate. This is the place where you come meet people like that. So, I told my plumber, I said, look, you need to become a part of the vendor program so that you can get to meet all of these different investors. And then once you get to know these people and they can put a face to the name, guess what's going to happen? You're going to start getting phone calls. You're going to get phone calls from these people asking for plumbing services, and your business is going to take off, but you got to be very careful. You have to be prepared for your business to take off, because all of a sudden you could have too much business and not enough employees. Does that make sense? So he was there promoting his business. I was there meeting some of the new members. I was there just really having a great time. I was having a blast. I mean, the weather was beautiful. We were sitting outside. It was kind of dark out, and the weather was cooperating. It was just a gorgeous night. And I think I want to say that I talked to at least 50 different people at that event. Yeah. All right. I listened to David Fisher, one of our Lifestyles Unlimited life changers. We call them life changers because that's what they do. They change your life. Yeah. Now, a little bit about that guy, David Fisher. Guy started with $70,000. That's it. $70K. That's all he had to his name was $70K. And he started buying properties about 12 years ago. And the first thing he bought was little single family house. One single family house about 12 years ago. Fast forward to today. He just finished buying a 33-unit multifamily apartment community. I had the opportunity. That's not one of the properties that I had an opportunity to visit in my whirlwind over the weekend. I've seen the property already. So that 33-unit is now in his portfolio. I think it's important to share with you that David Fisher's net worth went from that $70,000 that he started with as a real estate investor back in, I don't know, what time is it? 12 years ago? Yeah, you can do the math. 2012, 2011, something like that. Whatever the time frame's been. He's worth $14 million today. $14 million. Oh, and by the way, the 33-unit apartment community, that's going to add a couple more million onto his net worth. And the reason it's going to do that is because that 33 unit, it's in bad shape. He's got to fix it up. But by fixing it up, he's going to increase the value of the property. So his net worth is just going to continue to go up and up and up and up. And isn't it cool to have somebody like that who's funny, who flat out has every joke in his arsenal, trust me, teach you how to become a real estate investor yourself? It's pretty cool stuff. It's really cool stuff. So the 2-day takes about 16 hours. Let's see, what did I went to the case study with the networking event afterwards takes about 4 hours. I spent about 2 hours in the owners meeting. So far I've spent 22 hours this month devoted to Lifestyles Unlimited type of events, doing stuff that educates me, enriches me, reinforces my knowledge bank, gives me all the tools that I need in my tool belt. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was just re-engaging and understanding that I know what I know. Yeah, and I was having a good time meeting some of the new Lifestyles Unlimited members. There's some cool people joining Lifestyles Unlimited. There really are some really cool people. So at the end of the day, I didn't just do Lifestyles Unlimited stuff. I did stuff for Tina and I. One of the things that we did was we drove out to look at this 55-unit apartment community that we're looking at, and we did kind of like a drive-by. We did kind of a site survey. We went to take a look at what the property looked like from the street. We did. We didn't trespass on the property. It's not our property. We don't know anybody that lives on the property, so we didn't feel like we could go on the property. But we drove in front of the property from the street, and we took a look at it. And then we went and we took a look at some of the competitive properties, and we did some market surveys of the competitive properties so that we could start to work on our evaluation of this 55-unit apartment community. And then my mentor called, and I had a half an hour conversation with my mentor. And here's what my mentor told me. A lot of really good information that I was not able to get on my own driving out to this property. True. So what did my mentor and I talk about? Well, he actually drove out to the property this morning before I came out and did radio. Yeah, he called me from the property. He said, yeah, I'm sitting out in front of the property that you're looking at, and here's what I'm seeing. He says, yeah, the parking lot's bad, and you've got siding issues, and you're probably going to, based on the exterior condition of the property, I'm assuming the interiors are probably going to need this, that, and the other thing. And so we were talking numbers, because what Tina and I are looking to do is we're looking to make an offer on this particular property. But here's the problem we're having. The asking price, the price that the person wants for the property, is much higher than I can afford to pay for the property. So what we are doing is we're doing all of our due diligence up front. What that means is we are looking at everything that we can physically look at from the street, okay? And what we can tell is from the street, that parking lot, that's in bad shape. It's in real bad shape. It's probably going to take about $100,000 to fix that parking lot. Okay, that's good information to get from your mentor, because he knows the numbers on what it costs to fix a parking lot, because he's already fixed a couple of parking lots. Good insider information, right? Another thing that he told me, he said, hey, I noticed that some of the units, the siding is coming off. You're going to have some siding repairs that need to be done, some trim repairs, and that's just what we can tell from the street. So, you might have another $25,000 just in siding repairs that we can tell from the street. And that doesn't take into account any other structural issues. You might have some foundation problems. I mean, those buildings might be, because we're in Texas, so the soils do shift. You may have some buildings that are kind of floating on the sand, so to speak. So you may have to address those types of things. So what we're doing is we are putting together, and this is based on my mentor advising me. Tina and I are getting ready to put together an LOI, a letter of intent, where we will outline for the owner of the property what we are willing to pay for the property, and then we will justify why we're coming in at a price that is lower than his asking price, because at the end of the day, he has to understand where we're coming from as buyers. As buyers, I'm looking to buy the property. I'm looking to make money from the property. The property at its current price point doesn't make me any money. If I want to lose money, I would offer this gentleman his asking price, and I'd have no contingencies at all if I just wanted to make him a lot of money. But that's not how this game is played. This game is played between two people having a need, and then you have brokers in the middle that are trying to get both sides together to where you finally get to a point where the buyer and the seller agree on price and terms. When you can come to terms like that, you've consummated a deal. And that's what Tina and I are trying to get to. We're trying to get to a point where we can buy this particular property. We actually like this property. I mean, we went out, we took some time out of our day to drive to this property, to look around at the area it was in, to see the competitive properties, to take a look at the town it was in, to address the economies within that town. And everything seems right to us. Everything seems like this is going to be a good fit for us. The only thing that's in the way is the price. The price is too high. So we're going to have to educate the seller on why his price is too high. And you know what? At the end of the day, here's what might happen. The seller might say, the price is the price. That's all there is to it. The price is the price. So what am I going to do if he says the price is the price? I'm going to walk away. I'm going to walk away. Even though I've got time, money, knowledge invested in this particular deal, I'd walk away because my numbers are telling me I cannot afford to pay his price. Now, I'm trying to get as close to his price as I can, and my mentor is helping me with that. I mean, we're scrubbing the numbers. We're trying to figure out where we can make the numbers work, even in the seller's favor, believe it or not. We're trying to get as close to his price as we can, but we're a big distance away. We're probably $1.5 million away from his price. What about this real estate investing? Is it got you interested? Is it got you thinking? Is it got you to a point where you realize that you could do this too? You could totally do this too. I mean, you think about it. You could attend case study. You could attend the 2-day. You could get a mentor, and you could be speaking to your mentor about buying a multifamily asset that would come into your portfolio and make a ton of money, not only for you, but for the other people that invested with you. You right there. You can do this too. You had no idea, did you? You had absolutely no idea that you could do this too. Here's the thing. Real estate investing, you want to know what the prerequisites for real estate investing are? You got to have a functional brain. You just need to have a functional brain. You don't have to have any particular skill set. You don't have to have any particular degrees. You just have to have a functional brain. And you have to know how to use that functional brain. And you have to know how to put that brain into gear and make it work. And take advantage of all the resources that are out there for you, especially as a Lifestyles Unlimited member. The resources are just there waiting for you to take advantage. So what's holding you back? What is keeping you from doing what you should be doing? Go to lifestylesunlimited.com. Sign up for that free workshop, and let's get you going.
The information and opinions you hear on the Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers. The Lifestyles Unlimited Real Estate Investor Radio Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.